Okay, my husband was, when he got to know me, he was sort of like a skeptic. Although like, yeah, you know, like sometimes he encounters weird feelings and all that, he will brush it off, it's nothing, you know, like, you know, he just doesn't believe in it. So when I told him some of the things that I feel, he doesn't really believe in me. I don't know if you all remember, or if you remember that Block 5, Changi Village, where Aston used to be.
Yeah.
Aston is right now. It used to be a bar called Europa.
Europa, yes.
Yeah. And if you remember that there was actually an incident that a patron was murdered there. He was actually in a scuffle.
Stabbed,
he
was
was
it?
stabbed with a broken wine bottle, and he died on the spot. That was the history of that area.
I really don't feel good. I'm getting a...
Is there anyone here? What did you find?
You are listening to Supernatural Confessions.
So what happened was, we alighted at the bus stop right in front of Block 5. Directly behind the bus stop there is a lift landing that will lead up to the floor that we're supposed to go. It's the first time my husband went there in the daytime with me. It was in the afternoon, about I think 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, bright hot sun, you know. So the moment that we walked into the lift, we took the lift and up to the floor that we are going out to, I was the one who was standing in front of the lift door. I come out first. The first thing when I stepped out, I could sense that there was an entity, a very strong male entity. The male energy at that left-hand corner, right at the end of that void area.
Okay.
It was just standing there. It was motionless. It wasn't doing anything. It was just there. But the vibe that it gave me is not very good. So I just asked my husband, hurry up. We just follow and walk right and go straight down to our unit. So as we were walking along the corridor, I just tell him, hey, I don't like that lift there. Next time we don't take the lift there, okay? Then he said, okay. Whatever lah.
Because he's a skeptic, he doesn't...
Yeah, he doesn't believe in it. So he's like, you know? So he just brushed me off. So, okay, that was that. That day, that incident went by, and then we just did our things and we just go home. So eventually, my husband moved into the flat on his own first, because before we got married, his lease from his rental place was up earlier than usual. So he thought, well, okay, might as well just move in and look after that house, because we have so many of our things in there already. This was this one day. He used to work until really quite late in the evening, at about 11 o'clock. So I'm living in my mom's that time before we got married. Yeah. There's this day that he always will text me when he's about to go home. Then I'm like, I'm at home waiting for the text. Like, wow, 11:15 he's still not home. So I text him. I asked him, hey, where are you now? Are you at home already? Or are you on your way home? He came back with a reply that, yeah, I just got down the bus. So I'm walking towards our house now. In order to assure me that he's at our place here, he took a photo of the corridor where he's located at. So with that photo, I said, you should not be coming out from that lift, isn't it? Like, exclamation mark, you know, and just telling me, because I don't feel good about that.
Yeah.
So my husband, being a skeptic, he don't believe me. Nothing one lah. And he just like me, it's okay, I'm fine. So he just went home. So I didn't hear anything from him or about him until the very next day. That's where he related the experience of what he felt on the way home from that corridor. So he told me that he walked on that corridor and he walked up to our unit on the other side. When he was opening the gate, he could feel something behind him that he feel a bit like that was just behind. So while he's opening the door, call of nature came, and then he's like, I need to run to the toilet. So he actually opened the door very, very quickly, closed up in pitch darkness. He didn't even turn on any of the light, and he zoomed straight to the toilet. And there he is, relieving himself in the toilet, right? So while he's doing that, all of a sudden, he feel a very cold finger that was poking through to him on his back, right where his shoulder blades are. Then he's like, what is that? He got shocked. Then he turned around and he couldn't see because it's all dark. And he's still not properly dressed and he was still halfway in doing the business. Then he's like, that's not right. So he started to feel the chills, like something is there behind him, something touched him. So he quickly zipped up, flushed water, and he ran out and he turned on the light. But of course he couldn't see anything. Yeah. So again, he tried to brush it off, but this time around he's already a bit spooked. So he went and decided to wash up and clean himself up and get ready to bed. Turned off all the light, secured the door, and went to bed. While he was lying down, he felt that there was an energy or an entity in the room, that he felt that he was being watched all the time at one corner of the room, and it was relentless. It keeps doing that. It's like he feel that hard stare, while he was lying in bed, and he couldn't sleep the entire night. He felt cold. He felt the chills. Then next morning, then that's when he decided to text me and say, babes, I think there's something in the house. And then he related every single thing to me. Then I screamed at the top of my voice, what?
Was he calm as he relates it to you, or was he already panicking?
He was in a half shock. You know skeptics, right?
Yeah.
The worst thing that hit him is to realize that it is something beyond what their rational mind is trying to relate to.
Yeah.
And they cannot rationalize it anymore. And then they realize that what my wife has told me and warned me about, I did not listen, and I brought it back home into our marital home. And I get a blast from her, okay? So I don't know whether he's more afraid of the blast from me or more afraid with regard to the repercussion of bringing that entity home, right? Then he said, what are you going to do? What are we going to do? I said, okay, I have no idea what because I'm not trained. Okay, I can only ask for information from my grandmother and my mom, that they say that to bless the house, you have to take the rice, the tea, the salt, and I think there's one more thing I can't remember. Anyway, so I packed all of that, zoomed straight down after meet my husband after work. He was so freaked out, he don't even dare to come back to my house, but on his own. Okay, so he was cowering behind me as we were walking to the lift. That was going at him and saying, I told you don't take this lift, you should not. And all the way to our house. Okay, so the moment that before I opened the door, I tell him, you go inside the house and you try to sense where it is, okay? I'll go in and then I have to start the ritual already. Alright, so either that you follow behind me while I do it so that I can get rid of it and do it in a one directional thing so that it will actually go out in one direction. Right? So he opened the door for me and I walked in. So the moment I walked in the living room, I don't feel anything. And then he was walking behind me as I walked further down. I have a first bedroom that's on my right hand side that we dedicated as a study room. he walked in there on his own, and then I haven't started scattering the thing yet. And then he said, babes, it's cold here. I think it's in here. I said, what? Then okay, that's it. I was like ballistic already. I'm like, okay, I started scattering. I said, this is not your house. This is my house. You have no business to come in here, okay? And you need to get out, right? So as I was scattering, I was throwing in all directions, upward, downward, upward, downward. It's always this way, and then in one anti-clockwise, okay? So as my husband was behind me. So when I did that, after I walked out of the bedroom, he said, babes, it's not cold in here anymore. So by then, I was actually in the living room. So then I was thinking that I had to continue and go to my main bedroom, my master bedroom. So I went in there, and then I could feel that coolness inside. It was this static feeling, this cold chill feeling. It's like never on aircon, but there's aircon.
Okay.
Yeah. So I just throw and just continue to tell the entity, please go out. This is not your house. Please go out. You're not supposed to follow my husband. He blindly let you in. You are not supposed to be in here. I will say prayers for you, but you need to get out. Alright? This is not for you to loiter. So I throw and throw. I could feel the energy move out of the bedroom. And yeah. And then it's sort of like it can go through the wall and went through the wall. Because when I went round into the kitchen, it didn't go in the kitchen. It stayed in the living room. So I went to the kitchen, every corner. By the time I turned around to the corners of my living room, it was almost leading up to the main doorway. So I was thinking, it needs to get out. So before I throw out the last handful of the salt mix, right?
Yeah.
I open the main door, I pull it open, I say it's time for you to go out. Then I throw the last bit on the floor. I could feel a rush of cold air or light cold air brush past my shoulder and my face, and it zoomed right out in the door. And you feel the sense of like the relief that it left behind after it's like, you know, like pressurized can. You open, then you go, psst. Yeah. So that's when after that I know it went out. Then I quickly close the door behind, and then I tell my husband, now you believe me, right? And he said, yeah, I believe you, I really believe you. That's it. I made him sit down and then we do prayers together. And then, yeah, we did prayers for about half an hour to dedicate for that spirit that wandered in. So that was the experience that my husband had. And then henceforth, for an entire month, before that leads up to our wedding, my husband don't dare to live in that house on his own.
I remember I met your husband the last time I came here, and he was sitting on that chair, and he was like, obviously for privacy reason, he didn't want it to be filmed the last time, so we're not going to reveal his identity. He was sitting there, he was like, you said, yeah, my husband was a skeptic. He was like, and then after the incident, he totally believed. Then he went,
like he more approved. Yeah.
but that was block 5, and then from block 5 in Changi, you came over to this very house.
Yes.
Which was, thank you for showing me around the place.
Yes.
And you told me about the shadow.
Yeah.
You told me about a particular room in the house.
Yeah.
That is extremely cold, even though it should be hot.
Yeah.
Because of the roof.
Yeah.
And that room also consists of items that belongs to dead people, because your husband happened to love collecting historical items. But what I felt was very pertinent when you shared the story with me was how coming to this place, back to back shit happened to you.
Yeah.
And it's not a small accident, it's big incidences, life and death situation, bleeding. But what was really scary for me was nearing the end of the story where you said you heard voices and then you picked up that knife.
Yeah.
Could you tell me that story entirely all over again?
Then it become louder. Then become, stab him. Stab him. You need to stab him. I'm like, what is happening?
You are listening to Supernatural Confessions.